November 2025, I've begun to make YouTube videos in support of Adam Driver's interrupted Ben Solo film. Many people, like me, and apparently him, were also not done with Ben Solo. I'm a Star Wars fan, and I enjoy all of it, and there are movies and films that I love particularly. And coincidentally, in summer 2025, I became an aficionado of Adam's work when a friend who had never seen episodes 1 to 9 of Star Wars invited me to join him on his journey. He happened to be at Empire Strikes Back, which is my favorite of all of the Star Wars films still to date. And when we got to Rise of Skywalker, I realized that I was pretty sure I had not rewatched it since seeing it in the theaters in December 2019. And I remembered why right away. The 4 or 5 minutes that we get of Ben Solo joy, which is what I now call the feeling, are just not enough. It's very unsatisfying. So I went looking through Adam's filmography to find more of it. And because he's such a great actor, there wasn't any. I didn't find any character that provided the same kind of feeling. But I found lots of other feelings, many of them uncomfortable, which is actually something I seek out in theater and film experiences. I was into it, so I watched everything, genuinely all of it, and all the interviews that I could find on YouTube. I have some questions about Adam's professional work that I would love to ask if I ever had the chance. So I decided to collect questions from the hashtag The Hunt for Ben Solo community and Mr. Driver's Reddit fan page. Now, a bit about me. As a counselor, I interview people all day, and a big part of my job is to create the conditions that let people feel comfortable sharing their stories. I can think of few interviews that I've seen where Adam seemed to feel genuinely comfortable, and famously the best way to make him uncomfortable is to ask him to look at his own work, which he has in the past simply refused to do. Now, in a very early interview with my fellow Canadian George Strombolopoulos, George showed Adam about 30 seconds from the movie Lincoln, and Adam managed to get through the rest of the interview without too much visible discomfort. I believe that may be the only video documented occasion where this has happened. Maybe it's because Canadians are magical. I don't know. But I'm also pretty good at making people feel comfortable enough to talk frankly. And because we all know that Adam doesn't like to see his own performances in this proposal that I'm making here, that perhaps one day if I ever had the chance I would get to ask a few questions. There will be no embedded images or video clips in this video, so it's going to be pretty plain. So, to be clear, I will almost certainly never be in a position to interview Mr. Adam Driver, but I thought it would be fun to propose an interview anyway. So, Mr. Driver, if you'd ever like to connect to fill in your side of this proposed interview, I'm pretty easy to reach. When you're next at TIFF, I can think of a fun bar in Toronto that you wouldn't be expected to show up at with some private spaces for talking. And the worst part is, you could tell me that you'd like to consider it a counseling session, and I could never tell anyone we talked. So in the following interview proposal, I'm actually going to kind of lay out some of the thought process behind the way that I would propose running the interview. Hi, it's nice to meet you. May I call you Adam? Great. I prefer Jen. We're both from small towns, and it's pretty unusual in small towns to address folks formally unless we have to, right? Where indicated, some of these questions are crowdsourced from communities of your fans. Otherwise, they're questions that I'm curious about. Small talk helps us to get comfortable, so maybe we could start with music. I believe we're both Metallica fans. Do you have a favorite album? I'm biased toward Master of Puppets because a good friend of mine got married to the Apocalyptica or orchestral version of that song. All the grannies at the back had no idea. They just heard a piece of dramatic music while the young folks at the back threw up horns. It was pretty funny. I'm curious if you heard about or saw Kirk Hammett's classic monster movies poster collection. It came to Toronto in about 2022, and I had the chance to hear him talk about it. It was pretty interesting. He said, the posters are a constant source of inspiration. Where do you look for artistic inspiration? merging the personal and the professional, fan April Newell wants to know, inspired by Letterboxd, what are your 4 favorite movies right now? Throughout your career, you seem to have chosen roles that let you make the audience uncomfortable, which is kind of my favorite thing in theater and film. At the beginning, your Juilliard audition used Richard's opening monologue, and he's very uncomfortable because he's both charming and murderous. What draws you to characters that bring tension? About choosing roles in productions, fan Ben Solo Forever wants to know, are there any productions you've had to turn down for any reason that you would do now if it was offered again? And if you can, tell us what were they and why. A large community of your fans overlaps with the Star Wars universe, of course. Fan April Newell wants to know, who's your favorite Star Wars character? Besides Ben, of course. And why are they your favorite? If you're open to talking about it, fan Silva Jedi Knight wants to know, when you revealed the Hunt for Ben Solo project to the AP reporter last year, what reactions from fans were you anticipating? And what took you by surprise? Or if you'd rather not address that one, let me ask, generally, what kinds of fan reactions to your work catch you by surprise? I would like to tell you that among the organizers and the most active members of the Hunt for Ben Solo fan campaign, there are a disproportionate number of 1. Canadians, and 2. Counselors or social workers and teachers from all over the world. Would it surprise you at all that fans of the character Ben Solo have reputations for things like kindness and social justice? A book that was Kylo Ren fan fiction, The Love Hypothesis, is now a film coming out this summer. Fan Lucy Peffa wants to know, have you read any Reylo fan fiction or asked someone to read about it and report back to you on it? And what did you think about it? Or if you'd rather not address that one, let me ask, a lot of your fans would like to see you play the lead in a rom-com. What would a rom-com script have to have in order to get your attention? Last question from me. If you could play any role or have a role in any production of one of the truly famous kinds of plays, Shakespeare, Oscar Wilde, any of those that you haven't yet played, which one would you like and why? That's it. That's the end of my proposed interview. So thanks very much for tuning in, and if I ever get the answers and if I'm allowed to share them, you'll find them here.